welcome to Wellness Series with Lucia, a platform that gets you in touch with your well-being. I'm your host. My name is Lucia Malebati. Today, it's all about having fun while we get to heal, get to distress, and get to find ourselves. Today, we're discussing the impact of creative arts into one's well-being. And in studio, I'm joined by a renowned actress, a renowned artist. She's everything that one would know or ask about creative art. I'm joined by Loretta Mekwe. It's an honor, ma'am. Welcome.
Thank you, Lucia.
Yeah. I'm so excited because you and I, at some point, we crossed paths and we were still in the creative industry. And I'm going to mention one particular show that we did together in one of the local shows that also spoke wellness.
Yeah.
And then we had a weekend one that spoke inspiration. So I guess it never stops.
Nah. No. They say once a journalist, always a journalist.
Yeah.
So I am, right now I'm juggling the two, which is the artistry side of things and being a journalist.
Okay, all right. And I think I need to share this with the viewers because the inspiration behind today's episode actually comes from me. Maybe that sounds a bit selfish, but I really would like to share my journey. I experienced your artistry post my COVID journey, and I really needed it because at some point I felt hooked up, I felt a bit of anxiety, and I visited her studio, and this is what I came up with. We'll talk about that later. But before we get to distressing and finding relief from art, what are some of the other creative art activities that one needs to be aware of that they can go to or they can do, to feel good about themselves?
Well, art in general is therapeutic.
Yeah.
So there is dancing, there is yoga, it's also artistry.
Yes.
There is painting, there is singing, there is voice artistry.
Yeah.
And I just happen to be one of the luckiest people because I can do almost everything.
Yeah.
And this is where I get to find myself in terms of growth.
Yeah.
I get to relieve stress.
Yeah.
And this is how the art lab was born.
Yeah. And I love that line. You get to find yourself.
Yeah.
I think the past 2 years with this whole pandemic, a lot of people found themselves in the flight or fright mode. Like, who am I? What have I been doing? Where do I want to go? And art, you found yourself through art. And I believe that's something that viewers out there can also try out to just find yourself or just have time for yourself.
Self-discovery.
Exactly,
Yes. Yeah.
Exactly. So Loretta, I'm going to put this down for a second because this is the center of attraction. So I was feeling a little bit down post my COVID journey, and I visited for the first time the art lab, and I came up with this. And I remember telling you before I left that I feel amazing.
Yeah.
Let's talk to that viewer at home who's probably feeling down and probably considering maybe getting drunk or drugs or any other irresponsible behavior. Let's try to talk to that person and say, look, art is here to help you get out from the feelings that you might be feeling right now.
Okay, I think we can start here. Every time I step into my studio, it's a whole new journey. Every single time. And so for this reason, I do not go in there if I'm not going to work.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's like turning, if you like reading, you know how it feels every time you open a page. So it's like a similar feeling.
Yeah.
And so every time when you come to the lab, it's going to be the same process. Like I will ask you to smell the canvas because it will always smell different.
Yeah.
So that is the healing process. The self-discovery and everything starts the minute you step into that zone.
Yeah.
And this is why the music is different. The snacks that we serve, it's different. It's a whole new experience.
Yeah.
And this is something that I can never get used to. Every time, I can never get used to it. So I would say to somebody who wants to indulge in dangerous activities that, look, here's a new thing that isn't new because it's been done in different cultures.
Yeah.
We've had we know that there are cultures where there are guides and what do they call them? Creative healers.
Yeah.
This is where it comes from.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is a quite an important aspect to life now.
Yeah.
And so I'd urge people to, go for it.
Yeah. And it allows you the one thing that is trending. I want to speak today's millennial language.
Yeah.
The one thing that is trending post the pandemic, even now, because we're still in the pandemic, is setting yourself free. We see a lot of literature. I mean, recently a friend of mine published his book on setting yourself free, and for me, as you speak, and in the healing journey, finding your self discovery, I equate it to setting yourself free, and the way you put it, the way you approach art, it's not just about there's a brush, there's a do whatever. It's about own that moment, feel that moment, put it down if you have to. So if you haven't tried it, and it doesn't put pressure, by the way.
It doesn't put pressure. This is why I say the art lab is for absolutely everyone, from kids who are 3 years old to, our grannies. You don't have to know how to paint.
Yeah.
If you recall, when you were there, I said to you, you are thinking too much because you were. I could see the movement.
Yes.
You were tapping your foot. You were so uneasy, and I said, Lush, close your eyes, listen to the music, and then everything will flow.
Yeah.
And breathe.
Yes.
So you don't have to know how to paint.
Yeah.
Because it's something that it needs to come from here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And every time you look at this, all these emotions will come, and there's just something about it that I love. I can't even put the right words. I don't know how to describe it.
It allows one to dig deep. It
does.
It is short time as it is, but for those seconds, for that hour, it allows you to dig deep and say, okay, Lucia, breathe. Like you're rightfully saying, though you're putting me on the spot. I was feeling tense, and I had the pressure. Like, oh gosh, I know Loretta. What am I going to paint? I saw Loretta.
And it's normal.
And it's not about that.
It's normal. Mm-hmm. Remember, I did say to you that it's normal. Everybody who comes here, they shake first. Even I go through those things myself.
Okay.
Every time I have to prepare for an exhibition, there's so much anxiety that comes in. I get so overwhelmed. So it's a normal feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like when you're going to go onto stage. This I know,
Yeah.
2 seconds before you go in there, your heart races. It's the same thing.
Yeah. But you get relief from what you do.
Yes.
So I'm going to put you on the spot, Loretta, because I want to bring this to perspective. Let me just put this here. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm putting her on the spot because I did ask her when it was just the two of us, and she refused to just give me an idea of what she thinks about what I painted that day. So like we've said, I went in there full of anxiety, came out feeling bright and like sunshine. And I asked her, Miss Loretta, when we paint, can you tell how we are feeling? And she said, yes, but I won't share that with you. So if somebody puts together something like this, it doesn't have to be in detail, but what do you think my painting says?
I'm still not going to give you that answer because, one, I am not a certified art therapist.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
mm-hmm.
So I cannot tell you. Although, yes, I can see what you were feeling. Yeah. But one thing I can mention is colors have a psychology to it.
Okay.
Yeah. Colors have different moods that are attached to them.
Yeah.
Like, I'll give you, for example, blue for calmness, purple for royalty.
Yeah.
So,
green for life.
Yeah, red for danger, or
I'm glad there's not a lot of red here, but I can see a lot of F colors. So the reason why I wanted to put you on the spot was for the same reason how you responded. That we're not saying this is medicine, and we're not saying, indulge in creative art, you'll be fine, right? So if you've been diagnosed with anxiety or any mental illness, what we're saying is this can facilitate your recovery, and feel free to indulge in it. If you love dancing, dance for yourself, not for everybody, but for yourself. If you love singing, you know what? Sing out loud and enjoy it for yourself. For me, I had never tried painting. This was, I think the last time I painted was kindergarten. This worked for me, and I wanted to share this moment with you, and I would love for you to share it and see if it can help you. Miss Loretta, in conclusion, just key features or key ideas that our viewers can take from this in regards to artistry in terms of self-discovery or healing journey or just a distress. What can you say to our viewers in conclusion?
I would say stress relief. Using art for stress relief has really helped me.
Yeah.
It has helped so many people who have been to the art lab. It has helped corporates in terms of team building.
Yeah.
I find that people are now getting used to the idea of using this form of art and sessions for uniting families, uniting
bonding.
their teams for bonding. So I'd say give it a try, and we are on Facebook and Instagram as the Art Lab, and we can cater to whatever your needs are.
Yeah, and just feel free.
And feel
just
free.
to add on to that, feel free and be yourself. Well, Miss Loretta, thank you very much for joining us. I warmly appreciate. You know what? Next time we're together, we'll do a show whilst we're painting and just have different people share their views. Exactly. Well, for me, Lucia Malebazi, when we speak wellness, we touch on all the dimensions. So it won't always be medicines. It won't always be clinical. We will also touch on other aspects of our lives that affect us and do play a part in making us better people. One such is the creative art bit. And today we enjoyed the presence of Loretta Mekwet just to take us through her art lab and what it does. If you remember well, she did mention that it's not work to her. She goes in there to get in touch with herself. I experienced it. I've got proof right here. And I went in there probably feeling dark and all sorts of emotions, but I came out feeling amazing, and I'm even looking forward to doing it again. And I hope that you will try it as well. From me, Lucia Malebazi, thank you very much for joining us today. Let's do it again next week, Wednesday.